policing was different. There not as many cameras, not as many people up in your face, just questioning authority, questioning everything. I think that has changed over time, and that has changed policing. Some of it for the better because, we've learned to deal with conflict better from our end, too.
One of the dudes grabs a skateboard, and he's running up on the other guy, and now I'm like, he's about to hit him in the back of the skull. Like,
he's not from Country Club.
Right. Leave him alone.
He was over on Alma School.
Actually, pretty close, yeah.
I've come back to my faith in the last decade or so, and that's a big thing. Like when, one day at church, our pastor asked us, "Do you know your neighbor's name?" And I was like, "Dude, 1, 2, 3. No, I know 2 of them." And I thought, man, now I'm the asshole, right? Because I think that's what's happening. We're interacting less and less because of these phones and shit, right? We don't have to. And we end up not actually knowing the human on the other side of the shit next door to us, across the street from us. And so, I think all of that's contributing to what we're talking about.
Yeah, and I think that there is a sense of like a lot of polarizing stuff is happening, but then there's also, dare I say, like the positive side of tribalism,
Right?
not the gross side of it, right? But like you're finding your tribe, right? And I have different tribes that I'm a part of, whether it be personal development, whether it be the gym, whether it be shooting, whether it be, business, all of these different folks. And, I'm a man of faith myself, and we've kind of swayed back and forth with faith. We're not deep in the church community. However, we are deep in religious ties. But I mean, to your point, literally just yesterday, we were going out. We decided we were not going to do anything yesterday. Right. We need just a relaxing, stress-free day. And I asked my girlfriend, "You want to go get some coffee this morning at our favorite coffee shop?" And she's like, "I'd love that." So we're going out. We're getting in the car. Neighbor comes driving by, who we have met a couple times, hung out. Super nice guy. And he honks and kind of waves. And I'm like, "What's up, bud?" And I get in the car because I open the girls' doors and, get in on my side. And I looked at my girlfriend. I was like, "You want to invite them to coffee?" She's, "Yeah." So we drive down. And I invite them out to coffee, and they go to coffee with us, them and their 2 twin boys. And we're hanging out at the coffee shop. They close down, and then they go, "There's a coffee shop across the way that's really good." I was like, "Well, let's go there." So we go to the second coffee shop, drink some more coffee. And then they were like, "There's actually a really good park." So we went and hung out at a park for like 4 hours. And I was like, "You know what? Let's go to my favorite burger spot." Not my favorite burger spot. Anyway. But we went and got burgers, right? I wanted a bison burger. So we went and had burgers. And we spent the whole day with them. And I had just met his wife. I'd only hung out with him a couple times. So, right. We met him because he's the local butcher that we go see. And, so, "Hey, what's up, brother?" And like just made friends with them. Right. Even more so. And my girlfriend's like, "Oh, I got to get her number." Like, his wife is so sweet, So now they're chatting, and there needs to be more of that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because we used to be a society that cared about each other. Mm-hmm. I'm lucky. I have my next door neighbor is a fantastic man. Watches our dog when we go out of town. Really good man. And we've been there for them as well. And then across the way, good people. And the folks down over there, they're a little noisy, but they're nice folks, Luckily, we have a really good community here. However, unfortunately, a lot of other places that I've lived, that's not been the case. Right. And it's funny to me because the reputation being in this area of Apache Junction. Yeah. For the longest time. It was like, "Oh, so you do meth then, huh?" And I still get it, right?
You said the quiet part out loud.
It is what it is.
Is it quiet, though? Is it really the quiet part?
Not if you live in the valley.
No.
But the crazy thing is I've lived in, Arcadia and Biltmore and,
right.
Aside from Chandler, I've lived all over Arizona. This is my favorite place that I live.
Yeah.
It's quiet. The people are decent. I've had one interaction with like a homeless person, and he's kind of famous. He cruises around here with a dress, and builds up his little hutch that he hauls behind him. And I hear cussing one day, and I go out there. It was actually my birthday, and I hear mother, and I go out, and I was like, oh, it's that guy who wears a dress. And I was like, you doing all right, man? And he's like, yeah, it's my birthday, and blah, blah. I was like, oh, it's my birthday too. That's crazy. And he's like, yeah, well, my sister didn't even call me. And I'm like, okay, well, happy birthday. And he's like, thank you. Did you see those guys that were chasing me? I was like, there's nobody here. And he's like, oh, all right. What's my birthday? And I was like, yeah, you told me. And I go, hey, man, happy birthday. Let me buy you dinner. And I gave him a $20 bill, and he's like, oh, well, thank you. Packs up his stuff and just goes riding off on his bike. Yeah. That is like the only interaction that I've had with anyone in this town that was something along those lines of, you know, the scary old AJ. Right, and this place is super gentrified. I mean, I live in an HOA, man. Like it's pretty calm. Yep. So it's just wild to see the shift.
That back in the day rep stuck with it for quite a while, but it's come a long ways. Yeah, because I told you I lived in AJ for probably 15 years, and raised our kids here, and yeah, we loved it too. It was a cool little town, cool people. Yeah. Just had that reputation of trailer parks and meth, and you know, I think it's finally getting past that, and you know, not everybody associates AJ with that anymore. Now it's more like, oh, the superstitions and Lost Dutchman, and like, yes.
Oh, the
yes.
beautiful area. Yes, please.
Yeah.
But no, it's funny to be out here for so long and see all the shifts.
Yeah.
But what have you seen as far as like shifts in policing and such?
Oh, dude, there's so many things. You know, coming up as a cop in the early '90s into the 2000s, it was different. Policing was different. There not as many cameras, not as many people up in your face. You know, just questioning authority, questioning everything, being confrontational. There were lines that didn't get crossed, and so, you know, we would roll in, and you know, when I first went to work for the sheriff's office, I had an old school major that was the guy that kind of said, hey, you're hired and welcome aboard. And he kind of explained to me, like, hey, man, we are the sheriff's office. People will respect that, and you are part of that now. And so when you show up, if you're dealing with gang members, stuff like that, and they disrespect us, you're going to show them that they will respect us.
Right.
And, you know, I started in our jail, and it was the same in there. We had some hardcore gangsters in there, and same thing. There was a level of respect, and they understood the game. And I still go back to, even in today's world, true gangsters understand the game. They know it. It's like, they don't hate me. I don't hate them. They're doing their thing. I'm doing my thing. If I catch you slipping and you go to jail, you go to jail, right? And they understand that part of it. It's all these other people, and a lot of times it's not even the gangsters that are screaming at us, right? It's people like, oh, you're racist because you arrested this color or that color, and the people I'm arresting are like, the fuck out of here, like, right. Why are you even here, you know? So I've seen it change in that sense, that just the lack of respect, the lack of just acknowledgement of authority, and then everybody wants to argue everything, like, on the side of the road. Street, and you try to remind them, like, look, I'm a law enforcer. Yeah. I'm not the judge. Like, I'm enforcing this law. All your arguing stuff, you can do that in court, but people want to hold court on the side of the road, and that is definitely a thing now that was not back then. Like, you know, you just didn't have to deal with it back then. And it seems to be a thing, and people think that if they scream louder and more often that they're right. And you know, so it makes the job a lot more difficult than it was. I feel sorry for the younger cops today, because I'm gonna be quite honest with you, like, back in the day, when somebody came at you and got in your face, they got dealt with, like, immediately. Yeah. And there were times here in AJ that I was in fist fights because they would run up in your face, and that was not accepted. Right. There were consequences for all of that. And I think that has changed over time, and that has changed policing. Some of it for the better because we've learned to deal with conflict better from our end too. But some of it has allowed society to slip into this weird realm of kind of what I'm describing, where they want to be confrontational. They think they're right all the time because they scream loud, and they want to throw a camera up in your face, or they want to record crime happening rather than jumping in and actually helping. So yeah, a lot of big changes, and then you throw in technology, man, and dude, that's a whole different animal. Like these kids nowadays, they can do things like with the drones and stuff. It's amazing some of the stuff that we law enforcement are doing with drone work and cameras and all that stuff. So a lot of changes over the years, dude.
Well, I mean, I see it from both sides of the fence, right? I've never been law enforcement. Right. I'm friends with some law enforcement. I'm friends with some absolute wild animals. And like my point of view, I'm cruising down Country Club in Mesa, right? Some years back. And these
right at like 8th Ave.
Pretty close, yeah. Between Southern and Broadway, like right
gangster.
Where, yeah. And these two guys are fighting these other two guys. None of my business, don't care.
Like a bum fight or
no?
Legit?
These were just guys fighting.
Right on.
And they spill out into the street. I lock up my brakes, and I don't care. Still not my business. I'll go around them. But one of the dudes grabs a skateboard and he's running up on the other guy. And now I'm like, he's about to hit him in the back of the skull. Like I don't need to see somebody murdered right in front of me if I have the ability to stop it.
Right.
I carry a firearm wherever I go, right? So I open up my door and I'm like, get out of the street. What are you guys doing? And the one guy who was about to get hit, he moves out of the way. He gets onto the sidewalk. The dude who had the skateboard comes running at me. And he's like, he punched my friend. I was like, I don't give a shit. Get out of the road. People and Mesa PD goes driving by because, as you know, the police presence off a Country Club is, that's right near the headquarters, right?
Target rich, yeah.
So cops pull up. I'm just a witness, right? I explained to the officer what's going on. I said, look, I was just here for it. That's my truck parked right there. I almost creamed the guy with the truck, like so on and so forth. And this officer starts patting me down. And I had fully disclosed. I have a firearm on my left side,
Right.
And he goes, let me have your firearm. I was like, yeah, go ahead. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm not reaching for it, And so he takes it, and he comes back to pat me down, and he reaches in my pocket. And this was back when e-cigarettes were big, massive things.
Right.
And he goes, what is this, a crack pipe? And I was like, no, it's an e-cigarette. You're not supposed to be putting your hands in my pockets, bud. And he's like, oh. And he kind of looks it over. I mean, this thing looked like a lightsaber back then, right? And he slides it back into my pocket. And so he's like, oh, I got to go handle this. No problem. And so, at this point, there's like 8 officers there, right? And they keep walking by. And I was like, excuse me. Oh, I hadn't disclosed that I had a firearm yet because they hadn't come talk to me yet. Oh, okay. And I keep going, excuse me, and hands in the surrender because I don't want them, being upset.
Gun!
Right. And so finally, and they kept going like, not right now. And I'm like, okay. Finally, somebody comes to talk to me. And I was like, hey, I just want to let you know I got a firearm on my left hip. Like, here's the situation. I'm a witness here. And he, instead of caring about the firearm, that was when he saw the e-cigarette, and he's like, what is this, crack pipe? And I'm like, no, dude, it's an e-cigarette. Like, calm down. And why are you putting your hands in my pockets?
Because you're on Country Club.
Fair. However, so he gets an attitude about it, and that was when he took my firearm, and he's like, oh, yeah, is this thing stolen? And I'm like, no, dude, I bought it when I was in the military with my, like, deployment money from fighting in Iraq. You were saying it's, from Fort Smith, Arkansas, or wherever the hell it was. And Sherwood. Anyway, whatever. So he runs the numbers, comes back. He gives me my gun, bullets in one bag, magazine in another, pistol in the other, dismantled. And I'm like, okay, dude, I get it. But while I was sitting there waiting for him to do that, a second officer comes up, and I see she's got some stripes on her arms. And I'm like, excuse me, Sergeant? And she's like, yeah, what's up? And I tell her what happened. And as I'm talking to her, another officer walks over, reaches in my pocket, and pulls this out and goes, what's this, a mini bong? And I'm like, Jesus, dude. And I'm still surrender position. I'm like, ma'am. And she's like, officer such and such, what are you doing? And like,
he's not from Country Club.
Right. Leave him alone.
He was over on Alma School.
Actually pretty close. Yeah. So all that being said, and I've had a couple instances in that neighborhood, because my dad used to live over there, where it's, they police real hard in Mesa. And if you don't separate the situations, you're going to assume like, law enforcement sucks. And I don't think that you guys do. Right. And I don't even think that Mesa does. I'm sure you've probably heard people talking about peptides. It piqued your interest. You looked into it, but you don't know what source to trust. A lot of this stuff is coming out of China. If you're looking for a good quality peptide that's made in the United States, go to helixpure.com.